Adam. Almost hit the door. Oh. Oh.
I'm okay.
Good to go? All right. Medical. Chris Olave did not practice with the ankle. Chase Young did not practice with an illness. Alante did not practice just with a personal matter. A couple guys limited. Jawan with the neck. Alvin with the ankle. And then Ridgeway was shoulder but full participant coming off of the reserve. So those are the adjustments there, and open up for questions.
Have you guys made a decision on Ridgeway? Will he take that open roster spot? Or?
Yeah, he'll be available. Yep.
And with Devin Neal, you mentioned him on Monday missing the time in training camp. Is there a way for a rookie like that to make up for lost time? How have you seen him?
No, he's made up for it. I think, through practice, he's ready to go. He hopped in there in the game, and it's obviously still a limited role from a volume standpoint, but he hopped in there, handled everything great. He's ready to go.
What does he do well as a runner?
Great vision, good cut. He's got a good balance to him. I think he just has a good feel for the run game.
Have you been a part of a staff or a season that was sort of this intentional about getting so many rookies playing time?
I don't know. Sometimes rosters are younger than others. Young guys do play. They get to grow as they go. I think we got a nice little mix. We got a nice blend of some veteran players who've played a lot of football and some younger guys that are getting exposure. And so, again, we're going for it each and every week.
I know Mickey was even said on the radio Monday that you guys kind of all went in eyes open that there would be a developmental aspect to this year. Was that something you guys had talked about as early as August, September about, hey, we want to find ways to get these guys on the field?
We're developing younger guys, we know that, but at the same time, that doesn't change the objective every Sunday. We still got to go out and play better football, coach better football, and go win some games. And so, that can be independent of what happens on Sundays as you're developing those guys, which we think is really important as we go.
Kellen Baker said today that when he's played the Saints in the past, that it hasn't exactly been clean on their part. I know obviously you weren't part of that, and that he just doesn't like the Saints. Do you think comments like that can kind of help fuel your team a little more in a big rivalry game like this?
Division games are always fun, no matter what organization I've been a part of. Division games are fun. They're a little bit different than all the rest of the games. You're going to play them twice in a season. There's a lot of commonality. You know each other very, very well. Obviously, my understanding, this is a phenomenal rivalry. They've had a ton of success lately. We've had success. It's going to be a fun battle. Baker's playing as good a quarterback play in this league, and so it'll be a fun battle.
Will you maybe talk more about him, if you don't mind? I think we asked you every week about your thoughts on the opposing quarterback as a former quarterback, but just his journey is kind of unique in where he is now.
Yeah, ton of respect for Baker's journey. To go have success in Cleveland, have to navigate some things through a couple years there, going to a couple other spots, and then coming out on top in Tampa and playing just phenomenal football. Again, he's playing as well as anyone in this league. His confidence, his swagger, his decisiveness, it shows up each and every week. His ability to make big plays, and they've won a bunch of games down the stretch because the ball's in his hands, and that's all the credit you can ask for from a quarterback.
With Blake, is there a clock on the patience of allowing him to get himself out of it, but also not hitting the points and maybe not putting yourself in the best position to win because you aren't getting those?
Yeah, we got to be more successful there. Blake knows it. We got to keep going. We got to keep going. Do kickers miss some shots at times in this league? Yes, and so there's a lot of guys who have grown through these, get through it, have a ton of success on the other end of some adversity, and so we feel like Blake's can get there, and we have a lot of confidence in him.
Do you anticipate Quincy Riley continuing to start even after Isaac Yadim is fully healthy?
Quincy's playing great. Obviously he can start right. He'll start right now, and as Ike kind of gets back into this thing, we'll see how everything progresses. But Quincy's done a phenomenal job. He's made plays, and you can see again from a young developmental standpoint, you can see his weeks stack on top of each other, which is credit to him.
So you expect Quincy to still start this weekend?
Okay. Yeah. We'll anticipate Quincy starting, and then we'll kind of see where Ike is as the week progresses.
I was going to say, what makes it so difficult facing a Todd Bowles defense?
Continuous stress on you mentally, just from a threat of pressure, a threat of multiple looks. He's going to apply a ton of pressure on you, and he's always done a good job. He's not afraid to be aggressive, challenge you in a lot of situations. There's not a lot of easy yards. You got to earn everything, and so we've played obviously Tampa a lot of times over the years at various spots, and it's always been a fun battle. I have a ton of respect for Todd. He's arguably one of, if not the best defense coach in this league.
Is he very good at, I guess, in-game stuff, like adjusting what offenses are doing, and is he really good at that?
He does a great job of adapting to each and every week of the opponent and understanding, okay, what do they do really well, and how do I take that away, and make you play maybe a different style or have to counter move them in a lot of different ways. And so he does that going into the week. He does a great job during the game. Again, it's been a battle every time. He's really, really good.
Devin Neal had that really good blitz pickup. Do you see that kind of just consistently, when you guys are evaluating them?
That showed up in the college film from Devin, which was a little bit of an impressive aspect, was his ability to protect. We felt like that would give him a head start compared to a lot of guys coming from college where protection isn't necessarily part of their tools early in college careers. And so, he's done a really nice job. He hopped in there, handled it well. He'll be just fine.
The other aspect of that too, on that one play, Spencer looks so incredibly calm and confident that it's going to get picked up. Is that kind of rare to see a quarterback just so even when that pressure's coming in like that?
Yeah, that's an important aspect of this thing. Is you got to trust your teammates, trust that everyone's doing their part. Devin did a phenomenal job of getting back across. He had to navigate something on the other side initially in the protection game, and then came back across. And Spence was willing to keep his eyes downfield, stay in there. Spence has a bunch of examples of that through the early part of the season, hanging in there. Maybe a subtle move here and there, but he's done a really good job in the pocket.
What did you make of you guys have done such a good job taking care of the ball the first 7 weeks of the year. What did you make of the turnovers Sunday? Was it was part of that just this game situation you were in, the team you're playing?
Yeah, unfortunate that I think credit to those guys. They've done a phenomenal job. Obviously, there's a lot of evidence to support that those guys are creating these turnovers. The fumble, we got to protect the ball in the pocket. We can do better there. We had a couple plays in there where a deep shot where we kind of maybe took a little bit of a risk there in the late scramble phase. And then the last play, we just got to be cleaner in the fourth down situations. And so they made some plays. We obviously get to learn from them. The previous weeks I thought we did a really good job, but you can't come out of this game losing your stinger and becoming passive. That's the one thing you can't do coming out of a game like this is you still got to attack. You still got to play your style of football. And so, you just got to understand you got to protect it a little more.
Mike Evans and Chris Godwin both out this week. Is 7 weeks enough to kind of prepare for Luka and Tez Johnson? Are you dipping into the college film on players like that?
No, we're just watching Bucs film. These guys have played a bunch of football. They're playing really well.
What do you guys like about Pete Werner to keep him in there still mostly full-time over Danny Stutzman rather than just make the switch like you guys did with Riley?
No, Pete's a really good player. Pete's a really good player. We think really highly of him. We're just getting some rotations going there a little bit just to provide some depth and get some experience from those younger guys. But Pete's playing some really good football, and again, he's a really good combination with him and DeMario playing there on the field, and so he's done a nice job.
What is he at? How did they complement each other?
Sorry. Pete's got great vision. He's got a great understanding of the defense. I think he diagnoses plays really, really well, and he's just a sound football player. He doesn't make a ton of mistakes, and so you have a lot of confidence in him going out there and executing the plan.
You guys don't do a ton of traditional running back screens. Is there a way to get that action just kind of in more creative, different space advantageous ways?
Yeah, it's definitely part of something that we haven't probably dipped into as much as we'd like. Sometimes that's the way these games go and these game plans go, and it's not without practicing them or putting them on the call sheet. It's just a matter of getting to them in different fashions and situations. And so, certainly it's something that hopefully we see more as the season progresses. It may not be this week, but as it goes, I think there's definitely value there.
Anything subtle that might not show up on film that Kellen Banks has really shown improvement in the last 3-4 weeks?
I think he's just really consistent. He doesn't get beat. He handles the challenging looks. You get on edges at tackle. You get on edges, and his ability to recover. And I thought the cool thing was just his, him and Trevor working together more and more now. Like their communication is getting really, really good. The deep pass to Chris Olave, really, it's Kelvin communicating with Trevor to get the O-line to squeeze the blitz and leave the defensive end who's dropping. Ultimately, they give us the opportunity to throw the deep shot. If not, we have a protection challenge there inside with 3 guys blitzing inside the A-gap. And so their ability to see it, diagnose it. Kelvin's really the main guy that gets it going. And so I think he's playing with a lot of confidence now.
Joel mentioned Monday that a lot of people have to pick up Eric's communication slack. As far as the primary goes on some of the calls, would you anticipate that going to some of the things he was doing going to quarterbacks more? Or
I think it still starts with the O-line. Those guys communicate at a really high level. The QB always has his tools within protections and adjustments that he can utilize. And so I think that group's been working well together. And, there's an adjustment without Eric, but they'll handle it well.
Have you all made the decision on who's going to replace Eric? How are you going to handle that?
Yeah, we'll just start Luke. Luke at center, he's done a really good job. He's played some good football, fired up for him. And, keep the continuity at the right side and the left side, and I think we're trending well.
How do you go about just when it comes to losing a captain as well for the rest of the season? Is there anything in particular you have to do around that?
Yeah, I think it's just an opportunity for more voices to kind of subtly find their space to increase a little bit. Eric, when he can be around during this recovery process, obviously those guys will love to see him. He means the world to these guys, but at the same time, some other guys, some of those offensive linemen, gain a little more voice. Caesar will gain a little more. Kelvin, Tolley as they go. Trevor, we got some experience there with those guys that they can find their opportunities to kind of lead the charge a little bit.
Is Fortner's veteran experience kind of the reason why you got them now over some kids?
Yeah, he's played center in this league for a little while. He's responded well the last couple of weeks. He's handled a bunch of stuff. I think it'll be a good transition for our guys to just continue to build collectively as a group. And we know we have some other options as we go. Those guys are developing well as well.
You talk a lot about patience with the quarterback. Is Baker Mayfield kind of the prime example of that, of how he's developed?
Yeah, Baker's a great example. It feels like most of that draft class is a great example. This quarterback position, sometimes it takes time. They're going to go through. This is an awesome opportunity for Spence. You deal with the adversity game, and you get to respond. And so, all these guys have gone through this. I think you're continuing to develop these guys, and they'll continue to grow.
You all really effective in scramble drill defense with Plaster. Is that something that you spend more time on when you're going against the Caleb who and Baker kind of do the same thing at times?
Yeah, I thought our defensive staff did an awesome job last week, really emphasizing that phase of it. I thought our back end executed at a really high level. You watch those clips over and over, and there's not guys breaking free in those scramble phases. Our guys, stayed attached really, really well. Our rush continued to, Caleb's going to extend plays. That's how he plays, and certainly a lot of the quarterbacks in this league are going to extend plays. And so the D-line has to just keep coming, keep going after it. They'll find a way to get there, and then that back end did a really good job.
On the scramble drill, what's the coaching point on that? What are you guys trying to do different in that situation?
Defensively?
No, offensively, where Spencer threw the pick.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, you're always trying to find green grass. There's kind of a guideline system that we have in place, and so the most important thing is about finding grass and finding space and working back towards the quarterback. And when you do have those deep shots, you don't want to not take them, but you got to see the other element of that. A lot of times those turnovers always happen. Jonas had one against Buffalo. It was a very similar play where those balls deep. Outside the numbers, these safeties are really talented, really athletic, and they can get to those throws if the ball's up in there long enough.
Spencer seemed to almost point to telegraph it at all, where you wanted to go.
I thought the safety did an excellent job breaking on it. Yeah, and then that's a challenging throw as you're moving to your left as a righty QB and you're trying to get it downfield. And have we seen those plays executed? Yeah, you've seen those plays turned into big plays, but there's obviously risk that came as a result of that as well.
Is that a throw you want to see made in that moment?
I think you just got to see the safety. It's first and second down. It's not got to have it moments. And so in a perfect world, you're finding another completion, moving on to the next play.
Did Eric and Kendrick have surgery for their injuries? And if not, is that something you anticipate happening?
Yeah, they'll have surgery soon, and so they'll be on their plans.
Kellen, when you see
see a guy like Baker, his ability to scramble drill seems to be something that's almost like Houdini. Is there, from your experience, is that just an innate feel? I know you all coach it, but I mean, some guys just have that ability to make something out of nothing.
Yeah, there's a lot of instinctual elements to it, just because, you compare it a lot of times to fast break basketball. And, there's guidelines to, everyone was introduced to basketball and the fast break and, the 1 goes here and the 3 goes here. And okay, cool. Everyone learned that fast break drill as a kid, but there's a lot of intuition and instincts that go into that thing. And he does a phenomenal job. Baker's always made plays this way. I think when you look at what our league's becoming and a lot of these top quarterbacks, they do make these explosive big time plays in the off schedule component. You just look at a lot of these guys. And so Baker's leading the charge. He's done a phenomenal job of it, going all the way back to college, it showed up. He's continued to do it in a really talented way. And so, it's a challenge. It's a challenge for defenses because you can say, okay, great, we covered the initial play. Well, here comes the second part of the play, and this is just as explosive as the original play was. And so, the time clock's different, the effort's different, it's got to keep going. And so, credit to Baker, he's doing a phenomenal job with it. All right, thanks, guys.
Good, man. Good.
Kellen has talked a lot about this upcoming weekend against the Bucs being a bit of a bounce back opportunity for you all. How do you look at it coming out of that Chicago game, and just what does that opportunity mean to you?
Yeah, I mean, definitely got to bounce back after that last one. Didn't play how I wanted to play. We had some bright spots, but not enough. Just obviously, want to protect the ball. I feel like that was the name of the game last game. Got a little aggressive, something I haven't done all year, and just got to get back to what I've been doing, playing clean ball, taking completions, playing smart, and we're definitely bouncing back this week. Got to have a good game plan, go out there and just execute, play clean.
You played a little bit more aggressive, like in a way that you hadn't before. What kind of brought that on for you during that game in particular?
I just think I just had to dial it in earlier and not get too aggressive. No matter what game, you got to treat every game the same, right? I mean, you can't, get all jacked up for one game. You got to treat every game the same, and hit it when your spots are there, went down the field like we did, and then, just be smart in other spots. I mean, there was, still on that one pick, if I put it on the line drive, it's probably a completion down the sideline to Sheed, so that's a controllable. It's all fixable things. That's what's good. I'm not going out there doing that every game. Definitely don't plan on doing that every game. But, it happens. I'm not going to be scared to take shots down the field. I don't want to play timid. So just got to pick your spots for it.
What's the math between just like keeping it, safe and risk taking when the team does get behind?
Yeah, I think, early on we were in a lot of third and longs in the game. And we kind of had to kind of press a little bit in the first half. Second half, you look at that pick when I rolled out left and try to get it to Shaheed, it's first down. If I just run it for 3 yards, we're second down. Just situational awareness, I think, and just kind of refocusing in each play. We kind of started to feel it a little bit, including myself after those 2 touchdowns we had to end the half and coming out. And you just got to stay neutral. Don't get too high, don't get too low. And I think I got a little too high that game and didn't come back to neutral.
Sounds like a lot of good learning stuff.
For sure. For sure. Definitely good learning stuff. Watch the tape a ton of times over and know what I need to clean up this week.
When you say you got a little too high or maybe a little too amped up, what is that? Why did that happen, would you say?
I just think it happened, I think it was just part of the game, just got a little into it, and we were feeling it a little bit coming out of that scoring drive after half, and just got to, like I said, settle in after that and just play smart ball, take the completions, especially, coming into this week. This is going to be a big completion game for us. We got to just take what they give us because they do so much stuff on defense, and very good in disguise, heavy pressure team, really good defense we're about to play. So for me, just playing smart this game, taking what they give me, letting my guys make plays after the catch.
Talk about the pressure factors that the Bulls like to place. I mean, is that even more of a challenge this week? Do you think Eric out of the equation and just everything he does in that area? Like, how can you guys pick up that?
Yeah, we got Luke. It's next man up mentality. You hate to see Eric go down, but we got Luke, our guy in. He's played a lot of games before. He's a smart center. We trust him, and then just seeing pressures, communicating. Our communication's got to be great. We're going to be hot a few times this game, so we got to get our completions. We got to get the ball out when they're pressuring. But obviously Bowles is a elite defensive coordinator, and played him twice last year, and really good at what they do and make it tough. So we got to be able to start fast and then make in-game adjustments because it's never going to be the same look you get.
Can you just kind of walk us, like when you went back and watched that, there was a blitz pickup at Devin Neal. Can you kind of talk us through like what his responsibilities were on that and like kind of what your reaction was?
Yeah, I mean, it was an unscouted look. It was a great pressure, nickel pressure, I believe, off that left side, and Devin just kind of felt it and got there in the last second. He's one of the smarter guys, rookie-wise, running back-wise, I've been around. Really intelligent, really good in pass pro. I think that's the strength of his game, and, we're going to lean on him, especially, with Kendra going down. It's, tough situation, but we're going to lean on Devin, running the ball, catching the ball, and definitely pass protection.
When you look at Baker's story, is there anything that you can, draw just as, motivation or whatever, just to see how, Baker is, kind of beating the odds and he's not been wanted to find? Is there certain stories or elements you can kind of pull that you can, use as your motivation, use as your story, for your story?
I mean, everybody's situation is a little different. I've always liked Baker's game. I've always respected Baker as a dude and a player, getting to meet him earlier on when I visited Oklahoma back in the day and getting to sit down and talk with him. And I've always been a fan of Bake, and obviously got to play him twice last year, and looking forward to the opportunity to play against him again, on Sunday. So he's a great player. He's had a great story, and he's definitely beat the odds, and now he's one of the top guys in the league, man. He's special.
First start was against Tampa Bay. How much do you feel like you've grown in that last year, and how, I guess, important is it to have those first 6 or 7 weeks now going into as opposed to kind of throwing in last year?
Yeah, it's totally different. Having a lot more games under my belt, seeing some more stuff, being in different situations throughout these games. So, yeah, definitely have grown since my first start last year, kind of on, I believe it was a short week and thrown in there. So, yeah, definitely feel better coming into this game for sure.
Is it a strange feeling to know, you played 3 division games and they've all been against the same team?
Pretty wild. I mean, this is the 3rd time I'll see them. So, they obviously have more tape on me, more tape on us. So, we're going to have a great game plan. I'm going to have to play at a high level.
Does it help you that this is, you're about to go against them for a 3rd time, and you've seen a little bit of what Todd Bowles has to offer? Do you try not to?
Try not to think about it too much. It's going to be a different thing every time you play them, Like I said, the looks are going to be different than last year. Looks are going to be different than last week. So, we got to be ready for whatever.
You
he's getting open, you're fine. Like, you feel like you two were like really starting to click in.
Yeah, I know. I was happy for Chris last game. And I know there was some talk about him. And he's our top guy. So I wanted to keep throwing him the ball. He made many big plays in this last game, especially down the field and high pointing the ball, making tough catches. So I think that's what we all want to see, and I trust him to put it up there. And I feel like we do have a good connection down there. Just got to keep clicking and keep being aggressive, especially in the red zone and vertically down the field.
The first touchdown came on one of those in-breakers that you had talked about just a few weeks ago. Is that something y'all continue to work on?
Yeah, that one, wasn't as double move-ish at the top, more of a seam versus Tampa 2. Mike got a lot of depth, so I had to put it high. And but he felt it, bent it in, and put it in the right spot for him to go high point. And he made a great contested catch. And then the other one, another great high point catch. We had the same look in practice, and we repped that literally the same look. So credit to our coaches for putting us in that position. And we when we got down to the red zone in that game, last game, we were good. And we got to get down there more, obviously, protect the ball, not turn it over, and run the ball better, and we'll be good.
Was that one of those ones where you practice it from a certain depth in practice, and then it might look a little bit different on game day? And if so, how did you adjust for that?
Yeah, talking about the first one.
Either one of those touchdowns. Especially the one where the crosser in particular, where it was the same look.
Yeah, those both can be at different depths. I think we've repped those since camp, so those are. In our back pocket, we run those really well, and he had great feel on that, and you just got to put it in the right spot.
Third and long is just generally like a low percentage play, anyways. But like I'm assuming y'all want to be converting at a higher rate than what y'all are. Has there been like any kind of noticeable thing on those that's kind of led to the low conversion numbers?
We just got to stay out of third and long. I think you look around the league, 3rd and 9, 10 plus, super low percentage. Tough to convert on those downs. That's why you got to be efficient on 1st and 2nd down. So that's our goal. That's our next step. If we're running the ball on 1st down, 2nd down, we got to get yards. It can't be a TFL or we're throwing the ball. It's got to be a 4 or 5 yard completion so we can be in 2nd and manageable, and have 2nd and 6 and maybe get another completion. It's 3rd and 3. So we could work with that and have more options. But 3rd and 10 plus, heavy likely for drop back down. That kind of tees off the defense, and then they're going to come after you. So you just got to be able to obviously hit the zones, attack man coverage in 3rd and long, and convert. You want to convert some of them, but they're tough to convert. We just got to execute on earlier downs.
I have a question just kind of maybe out there a little bit. You've seen Oklahoma, South Carolina a little bit as a pro. This city's resilient and likes people who are resilient. Do you have family or friends that follow social media and tell you things because you are quite the fan favorite, and that hasn't always been the case. Sometimes the fans love to hate people, whereas here the rallying and supporting behind you has been overwhelming. Does anybody tell you about that, and why do you think that is?
I don't know. I just try to do my job and give my all. I can't, really. I appreciate all the support, obviously, but you can't dive too deep into it. What did Nick Saban say? Rat poison. You don't want to look too far into that stuff. So I try to stay away from it. But I got love for the people that want to show love, and for the people that don't, it is what it is.
Your 3 years ago, Oklahoma. I don't know if Baker ever came back, or you ever get to know him at all personally, or?
Not too much. No, here and there, but got respect for him, and obviously, know him a little bit.
Back to the 3rd and longs, there was a handoff last week. Is it your defense is just taking away a lot of opportunities? You see teams hand it off there, kind of just not doing anything aggressive. Is that just something they're really good at? Just kind of when they know you got to get it, they can take it away.
Yeah, I mean, you're going to see a lot of too high shell in 3rd and long. You're going to see. A lot of spot drop zone where you got to be on time, right in the right window, and have the right spacing, of course, and right levels and all that. So definitely got to have the right call offensively, and we got to execute when it's called on 3rd and long. But, there's definitely opportunities to check it down on 3rd and long. I think, I missed a few of those maybe last game, just getting the ball out quicker, to a check down instead of trying to hold on for the layered throw. It's risk reward, I guess you could say. But I think if you just play fast and try to get the ball out and get to 4th and 2 or less, you got a chance of possibly a 2-down situation. So I think it's playing those odds, playing those games a little bit, but definitely not the easiest thing to convert on 3rd and long. That's why you want to stay out of it.
Yeah. It sounds like there's a lot of like calculation between like the risk reward. Like how do you, like, even in there, like how do you know? Like, is it score dictated, or do you just kind of like you gotta wait for this to develop, and like maybe you don't get Alvin over here because of it? Like how do you how do you decide that like in the moment?
It's a great question. A lot goes into it. I think Kellen does a great job of saying, hey, all yards are good yards here in the helmet. Get back on track. Let's get half of it back. Let's say we're 3rd and long on the fringe on the 40. We really want to get 5 to get in field goal range, right, and give Groupie a chance. So there's definitely so many different things that you are thinking about in those situations, depending on, area on the field, time in the game, what's the score of the game. There's a lot that goes into it, but you want to get first downs in those situations. Be aggressive, but have smart aggression.
When you say you're aware of those things, are you made aware of what that analytics say? Does that work for the coaching staff?
That's more for the coaching staff. Players, we don't really look into the analytics side of it. We're just trying to run the play and run it well.
Even in situations where it might be like, okay, we want to get 5 here in order to get a better, you're still looking for other things that might be available in those moments?
Yeah. We're progression based, and we're going through our read. If 1's not there, we'll get to 2. 2's not there, we'll try to get to 3. I think there's a chance of quarterback, scrambles in the pocket. If you need to step up and go get 7 on 3rd and 10, or go get 10. There's anything could happen. So you just got to kind of feel it out, be aggressive, but be smart. Take what they give you, and if you got to use your legs, use them. Yep.